The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clark.
The beat! The man! You gotta beat the man! Woo!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729280. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729280. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the world heavyweight champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clark.
The champ is here!
HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us.
Comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us.
So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
pretty much all of our lives, ever since I could remember, the Goosebumps books have always had a significant impact on all of our lives, especially the books which had over 100 written by R.L. Stine, the creative genius behind Goosebumps. And a lot of people said, this movie is coming out a little bit too late. It probably should have been released over 10 years ago if there was to be a Goosebumps movie. But I think this movie went above and beyond the expectations of all of its critics and all of its fans who weren't really expecting to get much out of the Goosebumps movie. The thing was, so many people were really excited to know Goosebumps was going to be making a return for the first time in over 20 years. That's how long it's been since the 4 seasons of Goosebumps were a part of an award-winning series Saturday mornings on Fox Kids, and the Goosebumps books sold millions of copies worldwide. I'm still depressed they don't write these books anymore. I used to love the alternate ending Goosebumps books, by the way, guys. So when I first heard about Goosebumps, making a return, when people were saying, is it too late for Goosebumps to be making a comeback, I initially jumped the gun and I said, no, it's not too late for Goosebumps to be coming back, because this is a perfect opportunity for what was number one for R.L. Stine. The only thing that ever went number one in his life that he ever did outside of Goosebumps, everything else seemed to falter. I said, this is a perfect chance for all the younger generation who weren't around when Goosebumps was in the prime, and Goosebumps was number one on Saturday mornings on Fox Kids and other networks like YTV. I said, this is the chance for these fans of things, they're watching now on TV to be reintroduced to something that we grew up watching as kids. I remember watching virtually every episode of Goosebumps. If there were over 95 to 100 episodes of Goosebumps in the 4 seasons, I virtually saw every single one of them. And if there were 100 books in the novel series, which was number one, I read literally over 99 of the 100 and probably did go all the way and read all 100 of the Goosebumps books. So I wasn't really shocked that they brought back all these characters from the books, because how can you have a Goosebumps movie without characters like the Horrorland characters, Slappy the Living Dummy, so many authentic characters, the mutant from Attack of the Mutants, so many that are just popping in the back of my mind, and they were all written in to the Goosebumps movie script, which basically details how this movie is done. Is they unleash the Goosebumps transcripts from books that are locked in R.L. Stine's attic, and they wonder why all the books were locked. R.L. Stine, of course, is definitely weary of someone who moves across the street from him. He's just as wary about him, and of course there are feelings developed between this individual who moves across the road with his mom, who's actually in the occupation of a teacher. Because of a teaching job, they have to relocate. He develops feelings for R.L. Stine's daughter, who wants them to stay on their side of the fence because of the secrets in the attic. They eventually get around to unlocking all the secrets and put the world in a compromised position at the expense of all R.L. Stine's characters he had created over the last 20 years, which we do get a chance to see in this movie. One of my favorite characters that were recently computer animated were the Werewolf of Fever Swamp and Slappy the Living Dummy, because I remember those characters authentically. They really stood out to me in the Goosebumps novel series, Night of the Living Dummies 1 through 3. I remember those. Werewolf of Fever Swamp, we all know how much of a significant impact the Werewolf of Fever Swamp actually had in one of the first ever episodes of the initial season of Goosebumps back in the 90s. So I was really excited to see all of that. I was also excited to see some characters that I had forgotten about actually written into the script, which definitely allowed this movie to go the distance, because without these characters that we either remember or we've forgotten about, this movie probably wouldn't have been able to exist, especially with all the thrillers that have been coming out now, and of course the James Bond movie Spectre, which is obviously number one in the world right now. There would have been no way this movie would have been able to compete, especially in terms of computer animation, with how great computer animation is getting from Disney, with movies like Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur, which is expected to be a good movie around the 25th of November. That one is coming out. And let me just say this, if Goosebumps would have been released around this point in time, there probably would have been no way it would have been able to compete with all the creativity going behind all these movies. So the release date they chose for this one was obviously Halloween. They wanted to put it at around the most appropriate time of the year to be releasing it. And it definitely came through. It went to the top of the box office, not instantly, but it did go to the top. And it's been receiving great reviews ever since because of the excitement that a lot of people had, leading up to the premiere of this one. Just reading through some of the comments you guys were posting on the Goosebumps Facebook fan page and tweeting about on Twitter, everybody was so excited. Nobody could hardly wait to see the first Goosebumps movie ever, because, by the way, there was never a Goosebumps movie ever released with the popularity of the series. Back in the 90s, of course, it was around the same time shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Power Rangers were in their prime, and they all had a chance of being number one. Goosebumps had its opportunity, and it didn't seem like anything was going to take it out of that position of being number one, and nothing really ever did. If this were released back in the 90s, it obviously would have been number one, and it wouldn't have been able to, be competed with by any movie released around the same time. I guess that's where the speculation came from, is it too late to be releasing a Goosebumps movie in 2015 when you could obviously put this one out around 2005 or even in 1995 when the series was extremely popular. It was really a big hit for Fox